Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. We live in a world where if you watch the news and if you read the newspaper, you kind of want to kill yourself. I am saying that we can have joy and we can have happiness that transcends this world, but we have to look to a different source, and that source is our faith. So I talked about it a few weeks ago, that St. Paul says, rejoice in God always. Again, I will say rejoice. He says it twice, so you'll pay attention. He doesn't say rejoice in the Lord only when things are going well. He doesn't say rejoice in the Lord when you don't have sickness or someone you love sick or when things aren't going terribly. He says always. And he coined those words when he was in prison. And he tells us, and it's the truth, that joy is an inner virtue that comes from our relationship to God and our gratitude for God's gifts in our lives. Even Linda, she was crying for losing a husband that she had for 65 years, but her heart had joy in it because she had 65 years with the man of her dreams, the man she loved, that they loved each other to the day he died. And he'll keep loving her even now, and she'll keep loving him. So even in the midst of loss and pain, you can still have gratitude and joy. We have to remember that God is with us now forevermore, and he is our companion through everything. The good times, the bad. He will never leave us. Never, never, never. God of abundant joy, thank you, thank you, thank you for your presence in my life. Let me feel that you are always near and that in life and death, I am yours. Amen. So we need to remember that in ups and downs, God is with us. Rejoice in the simple gift of life, in the opportunity to be God's companion in healing the world. Look for seeds of joy in every endeavor. And it's something else because there was two executives or people who work at Burnish Funeral Home at Norm's service. So afterwards, they asked if they could speak to me for a few minutes. And I said, of course. So one of them, and they were so complimentary. I mean, one said, in the past 10 years, it's the best service he's ever seen. And another one said it was an 11 out of 10, and it was a wonderful send-off. So then he said, there are so many people who have no one, and they don't have clergy that they can call on. Can we hire you to help us plan funeral services for people who have no one? My first reaction was to say, oh, I can't do this. I have too much going on. And then I thought, God wants me to be his companion in healing the world, and what better way to heal the world is at a time of people's worst loss? And if I can bring them closer to God, that is good. And Bob says, well, Ellen, if maybe 2 people die every day, we might be rich. He was only kidding. He was only kidding. But the thing is, it's an honor to do it. And I feel that Norm was up there going, hey, my buddy, my pal, I'm proud of you and I want you to help other people. So I'm very grateful for that. And I also want to talk about 10 ways you can even have more joy in your life. It's funny, our own Constitution talks about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But you see, I think that's the problem. We're pursuing happiness. We're pursuing it. We think, okay, if I get married, I'll be happy. If I graduate from college, I'll be happy. If I get a new Lincoln, I'll be happy. If my kids grow up and move out, I'll be happy. And then you think of all these things that I'll be happy. But here's the thing. You can just do this right now. I'm happy. Let's all say that. I'm happy. See, we're not pursuing it. We can just say it. And here's the thing. We got to believe it now. We got to believe it. Happiness is the way. There's no way to happiness. You're happy, you show it. I mean, it was so funny because I've been teaching a lot. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to teach tomorrow, and I said to Bob, I'm already praying for a snow day. I said, I feel like the kids. I go, oh, let there be a snow day tomorrow. But I was teaching yesterday to first graders, and they're so cute, but they just won't shut up. So I was like, be quiet, I want you to be quiet. And they all were like, so every time they started talking, I started a different song and dance, and then I started dancing, and then one of the kids started singing along with me like he knew the words, you know? So I feel that you can even bring happiness to someone when you're telling them to be quiet. It's all in your approach. And here's some tips. Be who you are, not who you think you should be. I just read a book, and it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And I loved it because I always feel like I have to do this, so people will like me. And now I realize that I just need to be like St. Paul. I am who I am. And your work in me, God, has not been put to shame. Be who you are. And guess what? Some people won't like who you are. There's 10 people, one doesn't like you, 9 like you. Set that one aside, shake the dust off your feet, and go on to the 9 who do. Respect yourself. One person tonight, and I'm not calling you out because no one knows who you are, said this diet isn't working for me. And the thing is, I say to everyone, this isn't a diet. It never was a diet, it never will be a diet. What it is we're looking at our life. And we're saying, what do I want? I want to live. I don't want diabetes. I don't want to die. I want to eat a little less and move a little more and drink that darn water and pray and live a longer life because I love life. And if we do little things at a time, little things, it will add up. Then it will work. Right away, you just need to look at your life right now and say, what's not working for me? Okay, but if you respect yourself, if you love yourself, and this is one of the things I really got to work on is yoga and meditation. I started reading a book this morning on meditation. I am going to be the best meditator you ever saw in your life, but just not today. I'm working on it. Live in the now. There's no past. There's no future. There's only here, right now, right. We're prayed up. We're here right now. That's all we have promised. And you know, it used to be that multitasking was the thing. And I was riding the bike at the gym this morning, and I was saying the rosary. And I want to say my rosary, but this guy came up to me, and he's a nice guy, and he wanted to talk. And I thought, well, and you know, he's got a couple things going on in his life, and he wanted to share it with me. And I thought, rosary, helping someone, talking to them, that is the rosary, isn't it? Isn't helping someone else? So I didn't finish all my decades on the bike. Talking to him was what God wanted me to do. Live in the now. Slow down. You don't have to say, I can't talk to you right now, buddy. Get lost. I'm saying the rosary. Okay? That wouldn't be a very kind thing to do. Also, learn from your experience. And you know what I find that God does? He tries to teach you a lesson, and you don't learn it. Anyways, Bob and I can cite specific examples in our life. And then a couple years later, he tries to teach you the same lesson. And then I say, okay, God, I'm listening now. But why don't we just listen the first time, okay? Yeah, there's good times and there's bad times, and they both come and go. Be grateful. Are we grateful enough? The service was just Tuesday. And already Linda, in the height of everything she's got going on, expressed her gratitude to us. In writing. She didn't text it. She didn't email it. She wrote it. How hard is that? It's a beautiful gesture. And here's another big one. Let it go. one of the little girls came up to me yesterday, first grade. She said I was stupid, and she said I was ugly, and she was so mean to me. And I go, I'm glad you're telling me this. And I bet that was very hurtful when that happened. But you know what we have to do? We got to shake it off. We got to let it go. So what are we going to do? She goes, shake it off. I go, no, you got to shake it off. So we were shaking it off, and we were letting it go. And then I go, don't let her win. You just say, when she says those things to you, you say, no, I'm not. I'm awesome. And then walk away. So you can't let these things get to you. You got to let it go, even in first grade. Also, always look within. You are much stronger than you think you are. You are smarter. One of the things I'm always mad, I get so mad at Bob, because we're watching Final Jeopardy, and I always write my answer down. And then I have it written, and then I let him say it verbally. So I'm like, what do you think it is? He's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm like, just say something, Bob. I don't know. Just say something, Bob. I don't know. And then he says the right answer. But he always has to go through that self-doubt. I don't know. Just say, I'm a brilliant Jeopardy man, and I'm going to say the answer, okay? Also, reach outside yourself. When they ask me to help out with other funerals, I'm like, can I do this? And I thought, well, I think I can. So, reach outside yourself. Do things that you love. There's things you gotta love. Also, accept some challenges. When I started teaching at this one school, it's a dual language school, and I love it there, and they love me. And they say, we really want you all the time, and I said, fabulous. But I really don't want to work all the time. But anyway, I decided to learn Spanish. So that was like 146 days ago that I decided to learn Spanish. And I do a lesson every day, and it gives you a running count. And it's got, Ellen, you're doing great. This is your 145th day in a row. I don't want to break them saying, Ellen, you're doing great. So I do the lesson every day. And the kids are so forgiving. Like somebody says something, I'm like, don't. I'm just saying these words to them now that I'm just learning, and they love it. And then there's 10 commitments for a healthy, balanced life. And what we need to realize, especially that person who thinks it's not working, is every little bit helps. If for breakfast you're having eggs, do you really need 2 pieces of toast? I know it tastes good. I know you want it. Why don't we start with having eggs in 1 piece of toast? Little steps, okay? Quality over quantity. When we went out to Del Lago to see Three Dog Night, I am a Three Dog Night groupie. I have seen them 4 times. I know all their songs. I love them. Anyway, we went to dinner ahead of time. I had the most delicious scrod and shrimp. Was it oh, poor Ellen, she has to have scrod and shrimp? It was delicious. Keep quality, and you don't have to have a big honker pizza. Keep it simple. I love how they talk about a capsule wardrobe. What that means is you have 2 pair of black pants, a pair of brown pants, a pair of blue pants, and you mix and match tops and sweaters. I have 5 full closets of clothes. Now, don't judge me. It's my sister. She's a clothesaholic, and she keeps giving me things. But the fact of the matter is, do you need 10 pairs of white capri shorts? Do you? No. All right, 30 minutes of movement a day. And this is where you guys get in trouble. You're not moving at all, let alone 30 minutes. And if you think you can't, guess what? You can't. If you think you can't, you can't. But if you think you can do something. Be treat smart. Why eat a treat that tastes like crap? If you're going to eat a treat, have a piece of carrot cake or something really, really good. Only look at it first. If it doesn't look worth it, you go, is that worth it? And many times, guess what? It's not. Take a bite. Savor that bite and write it down. 1 bite of carrot cake. Also, have a lot of protein and veggies. Now, he says after breakfast, but I think you can have protein and veggies with breakfast, okay? And then it talks about feel the feels. So many times there's people in the world that hold everything in, and then they explode or they implode. I, on the other hand, am very fortunate because I have a good group of people. But sometimes you can overfeel. You can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and you just beat a dead horse. Sometimes you got to shake it off and let it go, okay? But get it out of your system first. Talk about it. Get another perspective. Plan and track. This is huge. Plan. P-L-A-N. Plan. Plan. I'm going to do a couple cheers next week because that's where we get in trouble. You're not planning. It's like, oh, my life is busy. My life is hectic. I'm very stressed. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. You can have a busy... When my sister died and my mother died, I didn't overeat over those things. I still kept on the plan. Do the best you can. If 80% of the time you're really, really good and do eating less and moving more and everything, and 20% you have a little struggle, just make sure that 20% isn't Thursday at 3 o'clock before you come here and weigh in. And also, don't compare yourself with anybody else. I don't want to compare myself with Dolly Parton. I don't want to compare myself with anybody. I am who I am, just like Popeye. And if God said to me right now, Ellen, one of the things about heaven is you can be anybody you want to be. You know who I'd pick? Ellen McCauley. I don't want to be anybody but myself. All my warts, all the things. If you pick somebody else, you talk to me afterwards, and what am I going to do, everybody? Slap you. You're supposed to pick yourself. I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.